Today I am in Rogers, Arkansas at Neighborhood Market 5837 to show you one of the most prime locations for Walmart EV charging. This location checks off 3 of the boxes for what this network can accomplish. Stick around. All right, so to get this charge session started, I'm going to click choose the connector. I am at CCS number 7, and then we'll get started charging here. Payment is authorizing. Now it's authenticating, and we'll be able to plug in. Let's do it. All right, so we're gonna get this charging session underway. You can see I parked just a little bit different. I did go CCS port to CCS handle, but I left a lot of room, and that allows me to get into the driver's side door pretty easily. All right, so we're gonna start at 19% today, and we're gonna go all the way to 80% here at Neighborhood Market 5837. And I think that this one's going to go pretty slow because it's already 90 degrees at 10:30 in the morning. Welcome to summer in Bentonville. So we're going to let it go all the way. But the good news is we're ramping up quite nicely before we get into the muck and mire of the Blazer EV charge curve. So yeah, again, we are trying a little bit different of a parking configuration here before they swap the cables. But as you can see, not, into the next parking spot, and here it's an open area anyway, so that would not be an issue. Just so you can see what we're working with here in terms of temperatures, we've got 104 ambient. I guess that's under the hood because we're only at 88. So not quite 90 degrees ambient outside, but somewhere there's a sensor saying 105 now, and it's going up. So yeah, that's definitely under the hood. But the battery started at 91 degrees, and that was preconditioning on the way in. Again, Ultium vehicles really don't like to cool below 90 degrees. So this is about as good as it's going to get this time of year. Battery is already climbing in terms of temperature. And we're up to 25% already on the state of charge. So one of the things that Walmart EV charging stands to improve across the country is city and urban support EV charging. Right here at Neighborhood Market 5837, we are surrounded by new apartment buildings. When this location was built over a decade ago, it was just about the only thing in this parking lot. Now it is completely covered. Pinnacle Heights, I see. Over there, Loma, we got Acosta Group. Like, we're just surrounded here by both business and multi-family dwellings. So people can come here, they can charge their vehicles if these places don't provide them, and really they don't provide enough based on what we're seeing in terms of numbers for EV adoption in Benton County. But they can come here, charge 44 cents per kilowatt hour during the day or 32 cents per kilowatt hour at night. Not a bad deal. So now one of the other aspects that Walmart EV charging can do at this location, being about a quarter mile off the interstate, is provide transportation support across the interstate system. So you take the exit off of I-49, you come right here, you charge, you go in, grab a snack, use the restroom, whatever you need to do. You can visit Torchy's, Andy's, you can go to the bank. There's a number of things to do at this location that if you are doing some interstate traveling along I-49, this place is a desirable location for you. Yeah, so this is the second location they built next to an Andy's. Why do they make being good so difficult? So that's the second thing that this particular location accomplishes. But maybe number 3 is my favorite. To show you number 3, we actually have to go about a mile south. So let's head down there and take a look at what's going on at the Pleasant Grove Walmart Supercenter. Welcome to the Electrify America location in Rogers. I've been here before, rarely with good things to say. I will say that every unit is on, every unit appears to be available in the app, and nobody else is here, which that right there proves my point about why I like that location for Walmart EV charging in Rogers. This location is usually slammed, especially midday, but now no one is here. I wonder why. Let's check out the pricing. All right, so if we try to look at the pricing, you will see that it is an egregious 64 cents per kilowatt hour. 64 cents to use these old, unreliable ABV units from 2017. Again, I'm shocked that they're all online, but maybe now they are going to be reliable because they won't be used as much. Again, 64 cents when you can go one exit north and pay 44 cents or even 32 cents in the overnight hours. All right, now I know what you're thinking, Landon. You can get that plus pass thing and save like 25% on this, right? Correct. So I'm going to go ahead and initiate a charge session here so that I can see what that price is. All right, so I'm going to select charger number 2 and click on start charging. So let's come over here, grab this, and then we'll plug it in. And let's see what the rate ends up being. All right, now that I've started charging, 48 cents per kilowatt hour with the Pass Plus. Yeah, that's still more expensive than what you can get up at Rogers Walmart EV charging location. Again, there 44 cents per kilowatt hour, 40 cents if you have Walmart Plus, 32 cents overnight, and about 29 cents if you have Walmart Plus overnight. It's kind of an easy choice, isn't it? Now look, I've been very vocal about Electrify America, mainly because of how they let this station go. But I did use them in Gainesville, Florida, got to use their time of use rates overnight with Pass Plus, paid 30 cents per kilowatt hour, very reasonable, especially for Florida. So not all of their network is the way that this location is, but you really have to research to figure out what locations are going to be worth your money, and if you can find somebody else nearby that can undercut their price, just like Walmart EV Charging has done here in Rogers. Let's head on over back to the neighborhood market. All right, we're about to cross the 10-minute mark in this charge session, and the numbers are not good. We're already at 107 on the average and max, and now minimum. So these numbers are higher than they usually are when charging, and you can thank that number up there. We are in the dog days of summer now, but we are sustaining 133 kilowatts for now, and that's pretty good, but we're 109 now, max. We're going to see a crash here pretty soon, and we're going to hit that classic GM dip, no doubt. Just wanted to point this out again really fast. Remember, you only get about 10 minutes max with the Ultium platform vehicles at 500 amps. Once you hit 10 minutes, it's going to drop it to 400 amps, and that's exactly where we are at right now. So it will hold this for a little while, but as quickly as we are warming up, it won't hold it for very long at 400 amps. So everything from here to here, 500 hits the 10 minutes, drops it down to 400. Something else worth pointing out about this location is back here in the corner next to pickup, you can see where some construction recently was done, fresh pavement right there, fresh striping and fresh sod on the ground here. This was an area that was used for EV charging. At one point, they had a CPE 250 from ChargePoint here, along with a level 2 from ChargePoint. And the reason that it was here was it was supposed to support Bright Drop vans and e-transits that were delivering, but they pivoted away and went to this very unique setup right here, where things come out on conveyor belts. And so what did they do with it? They left it there, turned it on, and it was free for quite a few years, but in the time since Walmart EV Charging has moved in, that has been removed, and now we go to the front up there to do our EV charging. This location also has one of the fun new features coming to many Walmart stores. Drone delivery. This is really cool. All right, so this configuration of the charging station has been pretty popular for Walmart EV charging with Walmart neighborhood markets specifically. You have 3 in a row along here, along with an accessible one on its own. Now, why do you want that accessible one on its own? First of all, it gives you more space for accessibility needs, but also what we can do is when we need to come back and add in more throughput and more stations, we can put one right there and maybe one right there. And now we've got 3 through here and 3 through there. A lot of foresight going into these particular construction pieces and these construction plans. All right, so now we're 20 minutes into this charge session and we have absolutely dipped, going to 48 kilowatts. You could see just fell off the table. We have 151 amps of current going into this vehicle right now. To be expected with these high temperatures. Let's check out the temperature of the battery to see if we've hit that 115 threshold yet. Well, we absolutely blew through that 115 threshold. It is hot today. So we're at 118 average, 120 max, and that's just gonna kill the charge rate. So what do? Leave. I know when I do this, I go to 80% just so that I can compare things, you know, for my sake and maybe for your sake as well, how things charge in summer versus winter, spring versus fall, whatever. But, you know, on a road trip, which I will be on in 2 weeks, headed over to Georgia, I would be gone at this point. So I can't wait to show you that if you ride the curve at the bottom, maybe just take 15 minutes at each location, you probably will get there a lot faster. So stick around, subscribe if you haven't already to see that road trip video coming out in about 3 or 4 weeks. I'm excited to get back over to Georgia. Hopefully the weather's a little cooler there up in Blue Ridge, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so something that a lot of you have been very excited about is the addition of credit card readers at Walmart EV charging locations. People have been asking me, have we seen this yet? The answer is yes. In Bloomington, Minnesota, the ABB A400 units there came shipped with the credit card readers already installed. But what I want to do is we're going to head down to Springdale real fast to see if the credit card readers that they installed there are operational yet. Remember when I interviewed Adam Happel back in May, they had installed them that week, but they weren't turned on yet. Let's go see if they're turned on. All right, so welcome to store 4108. We're back here to check out what's going on with the credit card terminals. They have been installed and they are operational this time. So let's check it out. All right, so you have some options here. We're gonna go ahead and click Start Charging. You have to press a little firmly on this. Select the station. We are at number 3. So we're gonna click on that. And then pricing, the screen will show for 3 seconds. Yeah, looks like it's going to be 44 cents per usual. Please insert card. Okay, so that's what I wanted to check. Let's see if that tap to pay option works. So I got my card pulled up. Does tap to pay work? Goes back to start charging. Okay, let's try this one more time. My card is ready. Nope. Tap to pay does not work here. And that's to be expected considering how the store does not accept tap to pay, Apple Pay, Google Pay, any of those as well. So let's just try the old-fashioned way. Insert. $35 hold. Approved. And plug in. So let's do that. Even ready on the screen. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and plug in very quickly. There are a couple of reasons why I wouldn't want to use tap to pay here. But the main reason is to get my 10% discount for Walmart. Plus, you do need to use the app. But I do want to see if it at least works, and it looks like it will. Let's check it out. All right, so the Pater says charging, and the Alpatronic Hypercharger, I heard the clicks. And there we go, we're getting started. So yeah, you can tell that I filmed this with the magic of Final Cut Pro. We'll go back to Rogers here in just a second, but everything appears to be working. And yeah, so the credit card option is real. It is not tap to pay. You will have to insert or swipe, but that's to be expected at a Walmart location. Thing that I like is that I'm seeing is also Payment Terminal Pilot. You can scan that QR code to provide feedback. So they are listening to their customers. And maybe within that survey, there'll be something mentioned about tap to pay. I'll go check it out later. All right, that's everything from store 4108 in Springdale. Now back to Rogers. One other thing worth adding for GM owners, when you get this low, 42 kilowatts, now we're creeping back up, in the GM dip, you actually can go ahead and turn the air conditioner back on and it will not sink it further down. Now, it might cause it to not rise as quickly, but on a day like today, I'm willing to make that trade-off. I'll test it out here. We'll see the graph at the end to see if there was a difference, but just know that when you've reached this low in the GM dip and kind of scraping the bottom, that you can turn the air conditioner back on and it will not cause you to charge any slower. All right, so we just crossed 80% and we're charging at 71 kilowatts. That means that we are just about over. There it is. Let's go look at this charging curve. I have a feeling that it's going to be reminiscent of 2024. Yep, so to go from 19 to 80% took 39 minutes and 30 seconds. Look at that. Big old GM dip. Right here is where I turn the air conditioner on. You can see that it did make a difference once you turn it off. It goes back up, but looks like it started letting in too much amperage because it had to slow down yet again. Now, the reason I say this looks like 2024 is when I bought the vehicle, it was advertised 40 minutes to go from 20% to 80%. So all the improvements that they have made over the last, I don't know, year or so with the cooling of the thermals and the battery and everything in here, looks like it's pretty much all for naught if your ambient temperature gets above 90. So do with that what you will. Again, my suggestion, leave after 15 minutes. And then just go to the next place. That'll give you enough time to let your battery cool off a little bit, and then you can just ride the bottom of that curve. All right, that's everything from Neighborhood Market 5837. Thanks for sticking around, thanks for watching, and happy trails.